Check 1, 2. You hear me? I don't hear me. Check, check. It's going on that.
I don't hear anything.
Me either. Oh, we got the wrong ones turned up. Check
Hello?
1, 2. Check.
I hear you.
Check 1, 2. Yeah, we got it.
Check 1, 2, 3, 4. Test, test.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Northwest Rankin High School Athletics here on Cougar Broadcasting. We're live at Northwest Rankin High School at Wesley Scarborough Field for the first time here in 2018. And the Northwest Rankin Cougars getting ready to take on the Davidson Warriors. Davidson out of Alabama. And the Mid-Mississippi Classic, this will be the second game for the Cougars the weekend. They played last night and took one on the chin last night, literally. They gave up 8 runs, scoring 0 against Northridge, Alabama. Gave up 7 of those runs in the 5th inning, taking the loss 8-0, their first loss of the season. I'm Darryl Palmer, DP, the voice of the Cougars. Glad to have you along with me tonight. And joining me tonight, my expert color analyst, Mr. Jay Fletcher. Jay, welcome back. It's been a long time since you and I have been in the booth together.
It has, since a little bit of football season, and now it's one of my favorite seasons of all the years. Just opportunity to watch some baseball and broadcast a little bit of baseball.
And baseball, of course, as you and I both have talked, I know ad infinitum, whatever you call that word, for a long time. Baseball was our sport growing up.
Absolutely.
You grew up, you were a pitcher and an infielder, shortstop. I grew up as a catcher. Played a little bit of third base when I broke my thumb and they wouldn't let me catch. But pretty much that was our sport. I don't know about you, but I was not big enough or strong enough to be a great football player. I was decent as a D-back. Couldn't jump, couldn't run. I could halfway shoot, but I could dribble. And that was it for my basketball career. But I could play some baseball, and I loved it. And I love this time of year. We finally get started in America's pastime. I
do, too. Played a good bit of football, basketball, but when it all came down to it, if somebody would make me choose, baseball would be the sport that I would choose. Love the opportunity just to go out every day and practice baseball. You couldn't hit enough ground balls to me at shortstop. I was just one of those kids, just loved to field it, throw it. The leather, the ball, the glove, I mean, just all of that was just such a big deal. And then you had the opportunity to step on the mound and throw it. And, back then you just stood up there and throw it hard as you can throw it, which was a lot of fun. Wasn't a whole lot of finesse to it back then.
Yeah, I was talking about it in a softball game last night, remembering the day and when catchers called the pitches. And they didn't come from the dugout. The catcher called it. I called the game as a catcher. We didn't wait on all the signs to come from everywhere to call it. We did it, and we went with it. Now, the third base coach had the hitting signs, but we called the game, and me and the pitcher would talk about it. We'd go with it.
Seemed to speed the game up a little bit, too.
Just a bit.
Just a little bit.
In fact, we're thinking about baseball. We had baseball weather up until tonight. Yesterday, we've been having some 80-degree weather through February, and all of a sudden right now as we get ready at 7:36, it's 53 degrees here in Flowood, right here at Northwest Rankin High School. Winds out of the north at 3. Humidity's only 58%. Dew point, though, at 39 degrees. It's cold outside. Luckily, we're in a press box. There's no heat in here yet. They're still working on that. But the new Wesley Scarborough Field, the stadium here, I'm going to call it a stadium. It's not a grandstand. It's a baseball stadium that most D3 and probably a lot of D2 schools would envy.
It is incredibly impressive. This is my first time to see it. I did not call a game last year as construction was going on, but it is a beautiful facility. Lots of memories here as well. I saw down in the kind of the concourse area down when you come into the stadium, a lot of plaques. Walked into the dressing room a little while ago, a lot of pictures and memorabilia there. But the field is outfield just a little bit muddy. We've had a ton of rain. Infield looks to be in great. It's been covered, so it's in great shape. It's a little chilly for baseball, but man, I am so glad we're finally going to get to see a little baseball. We've had a couple of games here before. You've been PAing, but I've just been here sitting watching baseball. I've just had that feeling of just wanting to sit out here and watch some baseball today.
And I know it doesn't really come through on the camera quite as much as you see it here live, but that outfield is a quagmire. I'm going to go ahead and say that word. It is muddy. It's sloppy. The infield had a tarp on it. Of course, if you're looking at the field, behind home plate, they call it the halo around home plate. Behind it, the what would be the dirt area and the batter's boxes is all turf. But once you leave that area, it's all natural grass down the foul lines, down all the infield, all the outfield is all turf. It's all natural grass. The pitcher's mound, what would be the dirt around the pitcher's mound, is artificial. But everything else is grass still here. And Coach McClaskey, has had 29. I think he's in his 30th year as the head baseball coach here at Northwest Rankin, also athletic director now, has done just a tremendous job with this facilities, with this program. It's done majority of it through fundraisers. It hasn't come from taxpayer dollars through the district. The biggest majority of it has come from fundraisers. that he's done throughout the years, and the support of the fans, the boosters of Northwest Rankin High School baseball are second to none when it wants the facilities. Named after Wesley Scarborough, who was a student and a player here back in the 90s. Wesley battled bone cancer and ended up losing his battle of bone cancer, and a heartbreak to most of the fans and most of the parents right here at that time. And the field was dedicated to Wesley in his honor. Susan and Pete Scarborough, residents still in the area, still come out and support the program year in, year out. It's just been a tremendous tribute, if you will, to Wesley Scarborough for what goes on at this field.
Absolutely, and let's go back to field conditions for just a little bit. One of the things that we have noticed in the first two games, outfielders slipping and falling. It is some treacherous field conditions out there for those outfielders. We've watched white uniforms turn very dark out there as they have been slipping and sliding, trying to catch balls out there. So that's something to kind of keep an eye on as we get ready for the third game of the day. Between Davidson and Northwest Rankin is how the outfielders handle that outfield condition.
Not only the third game today beating that field up, but there were two played last night after the rain up until about 3 o'clock yesterday. So 4 games already. This will be the fifth game on this field in the last 24 hours, 24, I guess about 30 hours since all the rains have come through the week. So it's been it's taken a beating.
It has.
And, of course, one thing we'll see tonight is a fly ball if the player doesn't fall down going for it. Be ready because it's not rolling when it hits. It's going to stop pretty quick, and a lot of players will overrun those fly balls when they hit the turf.
And a couple of cases almost had a little bit of tough time finding the ball because when it hits, mud kind of covers it, and it kind of looks like what's out in the outfield right now, brown, green grass, but a lot of brown with the dirt and the mud.
And I'm going to also be doing some double duty as public address announcer, and we're getting ready to start that right now as I shift to a PA mode and introduce the starting lineups. So bear with me as we go to PA here at Wesley Scarborough Field. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Wesley Scarborough Field here on the campus of Northwest Rankin High School for the Mid-Mississippi Classic. This game will have the Davidson Warriors taking on your Northwest Rankin Cougars. We do want to remind you to visit our concession stand located behind the concourse of our stadium, where you can get hamburgers, hot dogs, cheeseburgers. I think they also have some Papa John's pizza, as well as candy, chips, and soft drinks. At this time, I want to introduce the starting lineups to you. First for the visiting Warriors from Davidson. Leading off will be second baseman number 6, Jaden Jordan. Batting second and catching number 7, Leighton Bostic. Batting third, the pitcher number 9, Andrew Sherrod. Batting fourth at first base, number 15, Matthew Mosley. Batting fifth, designated hitter number 23, Jaden Gainey. Batting sixth at third base, number 2, Noah Lovett. Batting seventh, the shortstop, number 3, J.W. Riley. Batting eighth in left field, number 16, Cruz Atkinson. And batting ninth in center field, number 1, Colby Blunt. And the right fielders, number 4, Gray McGowan. Head coach for Davidson is Mike Harrell. And now, the starting lineup for your Northwest Rankin Cougars. In left field, number 2, Garrett Ramsey. Center fielder, number 9, Dalton Rogers. In right field, number 44, Harrison Tharp. At third base, number 22, Justin Johnson. Shortstop, number 1, Bridley Thomas. At second base, number 6, McCray Houston. First baseman, number 5, Chris Hart. At catchers, number 20, Case Garner. And the pitchers, number 4, Logan Stewart. Designated hitter for the Cougars, number 36, Nick Hogan. And the rest of your Northwest Rankin Cougars. Head coach Jeff McClaskey, assisted by Thad Bennett, Doug Lysette, Nathan Purvis, Jake Parker, Andrew Madden, and Caden Loper, along with equipment manager Dean Thompson. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we would ask that you please rise and remove your hats as we honor America with our national anthem. And that was the national anthem here at Northwest Rankin High School. We're going to take one final timeout. We'll take 30 seconds. We'll be back for the starting of tonight's game. Northwest Rankin and Davidson here on Cougar Broadcasting. Welcome back to Northwest Rankin High School Baseball here on Cougar Broadcasting. It's taken me a little while to get used to saying baseball.
Baseball.
I haven't said that in quite a while, but glad to be here. Cougars and the Warriors from Davidson, Alabama. Jay, you looked up a little bit of stuff on the Warriors. We're not sure how accurate it is. We go to Max Preps, obviously, as our resource for high school athletics, and they do a little bit of it, but tell me what little bit you found out.
Yeah, it's not very much there. I'm not even sure if the record is correct,
right.
But so far, according to the website, they've played 5 or 6 games. They're 1-5 on the season. Got a couple of guys hitting a little over 200. Bostic, 276. Jaden Jordan hitting 273. Austin Massengale, 214. Pitching has been a real struggle for them. One of the guys, 0-1, 5.79 ERA. That's Colby Blunt. J.W. Riley, 0-1 with a 3.50 ERA. Andrew Shira, who will be pitching this evening for them, 0-1 with a 24.5 ERA.
Leading off the top of the first, second baseman number 6, Jaden Jordan.
So definitely a team that has struggled hitting and struggled pitching so far.
On the mound for the Cougars is Logan Stewart. First pitch in for a call strike. No balls, one strike to count. That one's fouled off right side. It's going to get out of play. Beyond the batting cage here at Northwest Rankin, the Dan Johnston batting cage facility. And again, as we talk about sponsors, Dan Johnston, of course, was, I guess, the founder, began the Cougar Broadcasting back in the day. That one's fouled back into the screen on the right side. And I always love looking at a ball fouled into the screen and I happen to see a few of the fans that are sitting behind that screen in the stands, and they duck and they fall away.
Even though they know the net's there.
Not going anywhere.
That's right.
No balls, 2 strikes to count. Logan Stewart on the mound. Now the 0-2 pitch. Call strike 3 as he got him on strikes. First batter goes up and down, and that will be the first out of the ball game.
Batter did a good job of fouling off 2 pretty good pitches. He went up in the zone just a little bit. Looked like it may be a little bit high, but you can already see the strike zone is going to be pretty big after that first batter.
Now batting catcher number 2, Leighton Bostic. Bostic, a left-handed hitter, steps into the batter's box, facing the righty Logan Stewart. That pitch catches the outside corner for a call strike.
Umpire with a good right cross as he calls the strike calls.
And as broadcasters, we love it with a demonstrative umpire. There's a ground ball to the left side. Ridley Thomas in the hole, backhands it, long throw off target. We're going to give him a base hit on that one. That was going to be a tough play if he was able to get there, but that'll be a single for Leighton Bostic.
He got to it, and he made the snag in the hole, but just a long throw with a pretty speedy runner getting down first base. So we'll, as you said, give him the base hit there.
Courtesy runners number 15, Gavin Henn. Now batting pitcher number 9, Andrew Shira. Courtesy runner at first base, allow for the pitcher and for the catcher. Now Shira takes the first pitch outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. You want to go back to that play by Ridley Thomas. He went a long ways to get that in the hole. Made a great play on the backhand and made a decent throw. It's just too far to throw to try to get a run of this good speed down the line.
It's a good job by the first baseman and not trying to stay on the bag. The smart thing there is to make sure you don't let that ball get past you and you allow that runner to get down to second in scoring position.
1 ball, no strikes to count. Henn at first base is the courtesy runner. Now Stewart from the stretch. Swing and a miss. Good 70-mile-an-hour off-speed pitch.
That's nice to have the radar gun and have a little idea of how hard they're throwing.
We saw one earlier today for Faith Academy hitting low 90s occasionally.
It was pretty impressive. Of course, we had a little contact up here to recalibrate the radar gun to make sure he was throwing that fast. But he did. He stayed in the high 80s most all of the game.
1 ball, 2 strikes, the count now to the pitcher, Shirai. He'll make the token toss over to first. That wasn't a pickoff move. That was just, I know you're still there. I'm going to just toss one over. A lot of times you'll come back with the quick move, though, right after that one. Does not. 1-2 pitch. Chop foul at the plate. Count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Stewart a little frustrated with himself right now. He left that breaking ball up and allowed it to be fouled off. He wanted that thing down closer to in the dirt.
Count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes. Cougars in the first base dugout, the home dugout here at Wesley Scarborough Field. Good pitch at the knees. Call strike 3.
Your batter there is guessing. Breaking pitch is coming. He gets a fastball right on the inside corner of the plate, and he strikes out. 2 out.
They changed numbers on me after I put my information in. I had him as 15. I was finna call him out, but he's actually number 22. Matthew Mosley fouls that one off left side and out of play.
Well, that foul ball, I just looked over to the left, and beautiful full moon coming up over left field.
Right down the third base line. If you're standing at home plate, it'll almost be right down the line from you. No balls, 1 strike to count to Mosley. Big left-handed hitting first baseman. Now the 0-1 pitch up and in for a ball, 1-1 to count. Quade Smith, one of the new coaches for Northwest Rankin this year. In fact, I realized he's not on my introduction sheet, Jay. I just realized that. As I looked down and I saw him, and I remembered what I said when I introduced him, I got to add him to my sheet. He's getting left out. Quade was, if you remember the name, as a receiver.
I do.
For Northwest Rankin, as you and I were calling another local team, would play against him. Was a great athlete, was also a great outfielder here for the Cougars. Is back now as an assistant coach. 1 ball, 1 strike to count to Mosley. That ball in for a strike on the outer half of the plate, about knee high. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 outs. We're in the top of the first inning. An opening strikeout, then a single, then another strikeout. And now Stewart ahead in the count here. 1-2, runner goes, swing and a miss, strike 3. As he strikes out the side, that'll bring up the chainsaw over here. And the Cougars get them in 1 hit, strand that base runner. We'll be back in a moment on Cougar Broadcasting. Welcome back to Northwest Rankin High School Baseball here on Cougar Broadcasting, live at Wesley Scarborough Field, affectionately known as the Bro. The Cougars taking on the Warriors from Davidson. Good job of pitching by Logan Stewart. He struck out the side around a base hit, infield single up into the hole. And now the Cougars coming to the plate. And Logan Stewart, after a good job on the mound, will get the privilege of leading off for the Cougars. Now batting for the Cougars, pitcher number 4, Logan Stewart. Now Logan Stewart steps into the batter's box. First pitch to him. Misses just low for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes to count. Jay, you were a pitcher. I don't know where you hit in the batting order or whether you hit and maybe had a DH for you. I don't know. But
I got to hit.
You got to hit. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I got to hit.
But it's pretty good. You got on the mound, you strike out the side around an infield signal, then you immediately get to go to the batter's box.
I never let off. Let's just say that. I never let off. I had dreams of being that fast to lead off, but I never let off.
1 ball, 1 strike to count to Logan. Takes that one low for ball 2. 2-1 to count.
I was more of that 5-6 hitter.
Well, I can't say much. I was a catcher, and I was kind of in that 7-8 spot. Now the 2-1 pitch. Ground ball left side. Shortstop's going to backhand it. Stewart with good speed to throw in time. Good play by the shortstop for the Warriors to get that put out.
And that's J.W. Riley playing from that shortstop position. Just very smooth there. Backhanded the ball and a strong throw across the diamond to first base, getting the runner pretty easily.
Now Dalton Rogers steps in. Center fielder, hitting .333 on the season. Early port. Cougars are only 3 games in, 2-1. Their record on the season. That pitch missed for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes to count. Swing and a miss. Strike 1, 1-1. Cougars open against Warren Central. They were leading 2-0 going to the bottom of the 7th. They gave up 2 runs over at Warren Central, gave up 2 in the bottom of the 7th. Now the 1-1 pitch misses high for a ball to tie the game at 2 and send it to extra innings. They got to the 10th, and the Cougars put up a 4 spot at the top of the 10th, take a 6-2 lead, gave up 1 in the bottom of the 10th, ended up winning the game 6-3 over Warren Central. A good Warren Central Viking team we saw just a few moments ago as they lost 1 to Faith Academy, but nonetheless a really good ball club. And it's hard to play at Warren Central. Yeah. But the Cougars were able to go there and bring back a victory 6-3.
It's hard to play football, hard to play most any sport over there.
3-1 pitch misses outside for a ball. And Dalton Rogers will take the base, and the Cougars get their first base runner of the night in the person of Dalton Rogers.
Let's see how aggressive they'll be here. Will they put a hit and run on? Will they just straight steal it? Didn't score any runs last night, so you'd think they would want to be a little aggressive here with a runner on first.
Left-hander and Harrison Tharp stepping in, hitting .300 on the early part of the season. Does have a home run and go with 3 RBI. Of course, remember Tharp from baseball, a really good baseball player as well. Played some linebacker and outside linebacker. Now the pitch. Misses down and away for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes to count. But after that game against Warren Central, that was last Friday night, I believe it was. Then Monday night, they played Grenada. They were supposed to play Grenada Saturday at Kosciuszko. It was rained out. So Grenada came here. We played them here Monday night and ruled them in 6, 13-3. But Coach wasn't real excited. That pitch misses for ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes to count. It's amazing. You know McClaskey, been around him a little bit. 13-3 win, but he's not happy because we had a few guys strike out on pitches they should have been swinging at and just not really playing as sharp as he would like to have seen.
Well, and early on, you just have to play fundamental type baseball. And I'm sure that's what frustrates him more is when you've been drilling, working the fundamentals of the game, trying to put the ball in play, catch the ball. It frustrates a coach. Even when you win 13-3, you would think you would go away and it'd be
just like that.
There's your fundamental baseball right there.
Dalton Rogers is picked off at first base on a great move by the pitcher, and Dalton was caught leaning the wrong direction. And now it'll be 2 outs in the inning.
Looked to me like he may have been going there. He was leaning towards second base and got caught.
I look over at Coach McClaskey, and he's just standing there like a robot, frozen, a statue, knowing that Dalton just got fooled on that one. That pitch in for a called strike. 2 balls, 1 strike to count. And then we talked a little bit about the game last night. Of course, the Cougars took one on the chin, 8-0 last night against Northridge in a game that it was a great pitcher's duel other than the walks. The Cougars walked, I think, 6 batters. They had 4 errors they committed, gave up 7 runs in 1 inning. None of them earned, and lost the game 8-0.
I guess he wasn't happy there either.
I hadn't talked to him about that one. I kind of stayed away.
You probably don't want to.
2-2 pitch, well hit, right center field. It's going back towards the wall, and that ball is gone. Just like that, Harrison Tharp gives the Cougars a 1-0 lead as he hits one straight at the flagpole.
And that was a shot right there, because earlier in the day, that flag was standing straight out. Wind blowing right center field. Flag is not blowing at all. So that had no help at all other than his power. He turned on a pitch that was on the inside part of the plate and just hammered a line shot out of here. Cougars take a 1-0 lead.
Now batting designated number 36, Nick Hogan.
And speaking of somebody that can hit it hard,
oh my
the gentleman that steps to the plate right now, Mr. Nick Hogan.
Just a small guy.
Small guys. I signed to play football at Tulane following this season. And there's a line drive into left center field. That's going to get in for a base hit. Nick's going to round first, and the ball's dead in the grass. He's going to head for second. Stumbles. Here comes the throw, and it's a little off target. Nick's going to get in with a double.
They list him at 6'6" and 260. He just touched first base and kept going. He had double on his mind all the way, but he did slide, and there's somewhat of a crater there just before he gets to second base.
Now batting catcher, number 20, Case Garner.
Nick had a triple in the game at Warren Central the other night when they won 6-3. I asked later how Nick Hogan got a triple. It said triple to center. I said it's kind of towards right center, and the center fielder may have misplayed it a little bit off his glove, and I think may have fell down. But anyway, they gave him a triple in that game. So you don't normally see a guy 6'6", 300 pounds getting triples.
Look, he's an athlete. We know that. He is an athlete. But I know when he plays a little baseball, he doesn't run that much as an offensive lineman. This is a new deal whenever he gets out here on the baseball field, and he's got to go 90 feet and 90 more feet.
I'm looking at him right now, Jay. He looks like he's heaving out there trying to get his breath, trying to find that extra piece of wind.
I was not even going to call him out on that. I'm afraid he may try to find me after the game's over with. I'm not going to call him out needing oxygen.
I'm going to tell him you said it. 1-0 pitch to Case Garner, the catcher. Case, in a line of Garners, he had an older brother, Craig Garner, that caught here for 3 years, did a fantastic job. Is now completing his career this year at Belhaven as the catcher for the Belhaven Blazers and doing a fantastic job. Also a power hitter for Belhaven is Craig. And now younger brother Case taking over the reins behind the plate for the Cougars. That pitch misses for ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes to count. Case hasn't quite produced the power hitting that Craig has at Belhaven, but then when Craig was here, he wasn't really a power hitter. He's kind of developed that in his time up at Belhaven. Now the 3-0 pitch. Taking all the way, and it's going to be a call strike. He thought it was outside, and he's halfway down to first. He got to stop and come back. And
if it makes him feel any better, it was outside.
He and the umpire will talk about that one when they come back to their positions in the top of the next inning. It's one of those that people talk about showing up the umpire. Sometimes the batter steps out just a little quicker than he should, and the umpires, I think
it almost becomes an automatic strike.
Just about.
It does.
3 balls, 1 strike to count. Now, I was corrected, by the way, the pitcher's name is Shira, not Shira. That one's fouled off out of play over the first base side. 3 balls, 2 strikes to count. So Andrew Shira is the pitcher. And now Garner steps back in with a full count. 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. Cougars up by 1. Pops it up right side. That was going to tail out of play as well.
It's a nice job of fouling that curveball off. He was a little bit fooled on that, but got enough on it to foul it off and have another opportunity at 3-2.
And, Jay, you talk about that. Good job of fouling off the curveball. Good hitters are taught, hit the fastball.
Exactly.
Fight off the curveball.
That's right.
Very seldom, unless you get a curveball hanging, usually you can't do a whole lot with a curveball. Now the 3-2 delivery. Still 2 outs. And the pitch. Misses up and in for ball 4. Now he will take his base. And we'll probably get a courtesy runner. It is going to be, I can't pick up the numbers, at 13.
Now batting third baseman, number 22, Justin Johnson.
I'll get my binoculars if I can pick out who that. I think it's 13. It is 13 as the courtesy runner. That pitch is going to get away, and it'll be a wild pitch as it comes all the way back to the screen. Both runners will advance on the wild pitch.
Can you imagine how nervous the catcher is with 6'6" and 260 pounds rounding third base, thinking about coming home?
I'd rather not think about that.
I'm glad I'm not catching.
I got a nephew that played catcher when he was growing up, and he was probably 13, 14 years old, and he took one and got just flat run over at the plate, came up with the ball still in his hand. Guy was called out, and I'll finish that story after this pitch. Down the 1-0 delivery. Misses low and away for a ball, and here comes that 260-pound Nick Hogan, and he scores on the wild pitch.
And he can move. He can move. He got down that line in a hurry.
Well, you remember his junior year, Nick played defensive end and defensive tackle. Then his senior year got moved to the offensive side. Not sure where they're looking at him for Tulane, but my guess is offensive side. But you got to have good footwork to be an offensive lineman. And he showed that there. I want to go back to my story, though. But Wes, when he got home that night, his stepdad asked him, said something about you got to learn that when you got the train coming down the tracks, you got to get off the tracks. Wes just looked up at him and deadpan said, I am the train.
I am the train.
He was a little redheaded athlete, though, and he was a really good athlete.
That's right.
But that's kind of what Nick Hogan coming down the line. I think he is the train, though.
You can't tell a catcher anything.
What can I say? No balls, 2 balls, no strikes to Justin Johnson, third baseman. Speaking of defensive players, you remember Justin Johnson, of course, an outstanding linebacker for the Cougars this past season. Now stepping in, playing some third base and outfield for the baseball team. That one's pretty well hit straightaway center field. Center fielder going back, and this gets at the base of the wall. Justin with good speed rounds first. He'll stand up at second. No, he says, I'm going to third. Here comes a relay, and it's going into – no, good backup by Shira, the first baseman, to keep that ball from going into the dugout. But that's going to be a triple for Justin Johnson, almost straight away center field.
Well, he nailed that ball, and it never left the line, and it hit about 3 feet up on the fence and straight away center field. He turned second base, and he was going to make it to third base. Surprised the shortstop, who was out to cut the ball off, and as he kind of herky-jerky threw it toward third base. It's a good thing the pitcher's there to back it up, or it would have been another run.
Well, having in for a call strike, I think the shortstop was surprised.
I think
when
he
he turned around and he was
surprised.
still running. He thought he was stopping at second.
Yes.
And then he tried to rush the throw, and like you said, the pitcher hadn't been there. That ball's in the dugout. Ooh,
wow.
Straight through the box, knocks the pitcher. In fact, his gloves got knocked off. There's going to be a single, and a run will score. But more important right now, the pitcher is hurt. He tried to make the catch on it. It knocked his glove off. Coach for Davidson's going out. Also, Darrell, the trainer for Northwest Rankin, will go out and check on him.
Looked to me like it got the glove hand. And, man, it was a line shot. He had just finished his release, and that ball came like a missile right back into the middle of the diamond, right off of his glove hand. Couldn't tell if it was all glove or if the ball hit him just at the wrist area away from the glove.
The only reason I said it might hurt because when they were looking at the ball, he was holding that hand.
Yes.
So I couldn't tell. I'm like you, though. I'm not whether it hit the glove and it just hurt the hand through the glove or –
sometimes it's just the shock of how fast that ball gets back there, and he looks like he's going to stand up there on that mound and throw a couple of pitches just to kind of get it all back together, but it looks like he's okay.
And that's good to see. As I mentioned to somebody the other day, you want to beat a team, you want to beat them bad if you can, but you don't want to see anybody get hurt. So I'm glad that he's okay and not injured.
And one of the things you like early, the Cougars are really starting to square up some pitches right now. And that's, I know last night they struggled, 8-0 loss. But early on here, kind of putting that behind them and squaring up some of these balls that they're hitting. They're really hitting it hard.
I watched them in the Jamboree, and I watched them against Grenada. I watched them. That's the only two I've seen. I'm not seeing them square balls up and through the lineup like I've seen tonight. This is the first time I've really seen them swing the bat well.
Well, you think the only real mistake was getting picked off there at first base earlier, or it would be 5-0 right now.
That pitch up and away for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes to count to Garrett Ramsey, the left fielder. Garrett was the pitcher last night, pitched an outstanding game. If you take the walks away, you got to get those fixed. You can't give up free passes. But he still has a 0 ERA. None of the runs that scored were earned. Now the 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball catches the inside corner for a call strike.
Well, it's a good pitch there. He snapped off a breaking ball. I think the batter there is looking for a fastball, but gets the curveball and just fooled, and it comes in for a strike.
Now Hart at first base with a decent lead. Shira looks over at him a couple of times. Taking a long time. Now he's going to come to the plate. Runner goes, pitches low, and Hart will go in with a stolen base. Uncontested.
Good pitch to run on. It's a opportunity with the breaking ball down in the dirt, and he scoops, but the ball goes rolling right out in front, so it's an easy opportunity to take second base.
2 balls, 1 strike to count to Garrett Ramsey. Another runner in scoring position. Ducks on the Pine, brought to you by Tony Young Performance Gear. A little inside for ball 3. 3 balls, 1 strike to count. Garrett, the number 8 hitter in the order. The Cougars have plated 4 runs on 4 hits so far and have another runner in scoring position. Shira looks back at second. Runner goes. Pitch is low and away. It's going to be a ball into third base, safe with a stolen base.
I like the aggressiveness. He got almost a running lead out at second base. Pitcher never turned around to check him after the first initial quick look, and he got a running lead toward third base, stole it easily.
Now batting shortstop, number 1, Ridley Thomas.
So now Bridley Thomas, 9th batter of the inning, comes in for the Cougars. The shortstop looking for his first hit of 2018. Ridley's played some third base as well as shortstop here in the early going of the season. Coach McClaskey working a little bit on his lineup, which he'll do that through half of March a lot of times before he gets things figured out exactly the way he wants. Ramsey with a good lead at first base. Now the pitch. Low and away for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes to count to Thomas. Now, this is something I know as a pitcher you love, especially if you were the visiting team, to get some runs before you go back to the mound. But as the home team now, Logan Stewart, first time through the batting order. And now thrown away at first as they tried to pick off Garrett Ramsey. And on the error by the pitcher, the run's going to score, and the Cougars score yet another run on a throwing error by the pitcher.
You love the runs, going back to what you were just talking about. You love the runs, but the problem is you have to sit in the dugout for so long. At some point, and I don't see Stewart out toward the bullpen area. Right, he's going to hit it, but I haven't seen him go down there and just kind of soft toss just a little bit, keep that arm good and loose. But we'll see what that looks like whenever they do get to the top of the second inning.
Breaking ball goes around the inside part of the plate. 2 balls, no strikes to count now to Bridley Thomas.
Forget he's a leadoff hitter. He wants to hit too. He wants to keep it rolling.
Now the 2-0 pitch, high, ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes to count.
Shira really struggling right now, and nobody in the bullpen warming up for Davidson.
Now the 3-0 pitch to Thomas. Ramsey with a good lead down at second base. Catches the outside corner about knee high for a called strike. 3 balls, 1 strike to count to Bridley Thomas.
I think he had the bat on the shoulder call from the coaches that time. Don't do anything.
Now the 3-1 pitch. Runner goes. Pitch is low for a ball, and great jump again by Garrett Ramsey as he makes the stolen base very easily.
Well, they have Shira. I mean, it's very obvious. He takes a quick peek at the runner at second base, and then he goes to the plate. You have to vary that a little bit just to keep that runner off guard just a little bit. But they've got that measured very well, and they're just taking off after that first quick little look. They're just taking off toward third base.
And you and I both have been around McClaskey, because I've been around him better part of 18, 19 years, but you've seen him enough over the years too. He's a very aggressive coach on the base pass. He loves guys that can run, and he'll put them in positions to allow that. Now Logan Stewart hit a sharp ground ball to the shortstop, his first trip to the plate, to lead off this inning, and now he's back up a second time. Actually threw over to keep Thomas close. Thomas has got good speed and faked going, didn't go. Pitch is outside corner for a called strike. No balls, 1 strike to count. Cougars up 5-0. Swinging the bat well here in the early going.
37 total pitches for Shira.
And he's picked off. He picked off Bridley Thomas. Got him leaning the wrong way. And that will end the inning. We'll take a break. We'll be back with Cougars leading 5-0 on Cougar Broadcasting.
This one.
You sure?
Yeah.
Well, tell him which one you want.
Excuse me, I want this puppy.
How about this puppy? It's sleek, runs cooler than a dog, low maintenance, leather exterior.
You wouldn't put up with this at a pet store. Don't put up with it when you buy a car.
So come to Rogers Dab Chevrolet.
It's easier here.
Okay, listen up. I know you offer great auto rates, local agents, fast, friendly claims, but do you want to be a legend? You got to get tough, kid. When I'm done with you, nothing's going to keep you down.
Great talk, Brett. Can we get back to your new favorites quote now?
Oh, great.
Great.
Get great auto rates and local agents at favrates.com from Farm Bureau Insurance.
How about some water?
No, thanks. I'm good.
Welcome back to Northwest Rankin High School baseball here on Cougar Broadcasting. We're going to the top of the second with the Cougars leading 5-0. And as a pitcher, Jay, you got to love it when you go back to the mound second time you got a 5-run cushion. Now you just bear down, just do what you're supposed to do. Just keep throwing strikes and make it work. He struck out the side the first inning around a single into the hole at shortstop. So good job in the first, and see what he can do now here in the second.
The mentality you have to have as a pitcher now is I have to be around the strike zone. Your team gives you a 5-0 lead. You're headed to the top of the second. You want to just continue to dominate. You don't want to give these guys any opportunity to get back into this ball game. And his job right now, throw strikes.
Couldn't have said it better myself. That's exactly right. Big DH, number 23, Jordan Gainey. First pitch to him. Catches that outside corner for a call strike. No balls, one strike to count. Want to thank our As It Happens sponsors. I think I missed a couple of them in that top of the first. That one's fouled into the dugout area. And I don't think it hit a player. I think it bounced off the fence, but that was kind of dangerous going in there. One thing they always say at major league ballparks and parks where you don't have netting everywhere is be aware of foul balls and bats may be thrown or hit into the stands. And players especially standing in those dugouts are very vulnerable where they are. Now the 0-2 pitch. Chopper back. Great play by Logan Stewart, to snag that one out of the air and make the throw over to first and get the out.
He was in such a great fielding position after he delivered that pitch. That's a good job of coaching him and him responding to that. Perfect fielding position as the ball's hit pretty hard right back up the middle. He feels it, makes the good throw over to first base, and that gets the first out of the top of the second.
That'll bring Noah Lovett to the plate. And that's something you always, like I said, you want to have a pitcher. Obviously, you got to be able to throw strikes, pitch around hitters, and do the things you need to do as that. But it's always good to have a pitcher that can also field his position and play it well and be relaxed on that throw. That's one of the hardest things to do is make that throw from pitcher's mound to first base.
It is.
Now the 0-1 pitch to Lovett.
And that's coached. So much of that is coached in repetition and making sure that as a pitcher, you don't fall off the mound one way or the other, that you find yourself in a good fielding position, and he did exactly that.
1-1 pitch was high, and he chased the fastball up. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count.
81 miles an hour on that fastball that was up in the zone.
Now Logan ahead in the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Breaking ball down and away, and he swings at it and fouls it off. Count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Fooled on that pitch, and a good job of just slicing it foul to stay alive, 1-2.
Lovett's the third baseman for the Warriors. Now the 1-2 pitch. Popped up high in the air behind home plate. That's going to get back here. May land on our roof. Nope, must have got over it. Count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes. Outfield shading him to the right side. Center fielder's playing almost in right center. Right fielder's playing really shallow. Left fielder standing in the mud hole. He's choked up on the bat about 2 or 3 inches. Takes that one low and away for a ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count.
I like that pitch. Way outside to the right-handed hitter with curveball. It's in the dirt. He didn't fish for it, though.
Now the 2-2 delivery. Catches the outside corner for a call, strike 3.
Right back to the same location, moved it across the outside corner and just froze the hitter.
Shortstop, number 3, J.W. Riley.
Now J.W. Riley, the shortstop, steps in.
I like the way he's moving the ball in and out, up and down, not allowing these Davidson hitters to get any guess of where he's going to throw the baseball.
Coach Thad Bennett, the pitching coach, calls those pitches from the dugout. That pitch in for a call strike. No balls, 1 strike to count. Doing a good job of mixing it up. But the key right now, Logan is spotting it well, and that's what you've got to be able to do. Now the 0-1 pitch, chop foul right behind the plate. Count goes to 0-2.
You love the fact he's throwing strikes. You love even more that he's getting ahead of hitters. He's making them hit his pitch.
And that's important. You don't want to get defensive and allow them to get what they want.
I like the pace that he works. He doesn't take a long time. He gets the call, and he's ready to throw it.
I think Case got crossed up that time. He looked back over, and it looked like Logan was ready to pitch, and Case is pointing to the dugout. So glad they got that figured out. Now the 0-2 delivery. Breaking ball goes down too low for a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes count, but a good pitch on 0-2.
Absolutely, and you trust your catcher to do his job there.
Now the 1-2 delivery. Fastball low and away a little bit. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count. Now the 2-2 pitch. Foul back. Count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes. We talk about some of the history here at Northwest Rankin. Of course, earlier this year during spring and the earlier part of February, Reed Humphreys, of course, a superstar here at Northwest Rankin, went on to Mississippi State. Had a great career at Mississippi State, drafted in the Colorado Rockies organization, but he was here some in early February, throwing some bullpens, getting ready to go out to Colorado. Of course, he's a reliever now in the Rockies organization, hoping to move his way up and hopefully make the big show. 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss, and a breaking ball down. Good job by Case to block it up, and he'll get the strikeout and the tag, and that'll end the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on. We'll go to the bottom of the second. Cougars up 5-0. Back in a moment on Cougar Broadcasting.
Two guys got picked off first base. Just fundamental baseball, things that you've got to work on, but you have to love the 5-0 lead.
Well, that pitch misses inside for a ball. Jay, as you said that, I was looking at my line, and of 9 batters that came to the plate, 9 batters reached base. The only one that didn't was Logan. He grounded out to the shortstop on a sharply hit ball. We had 3 walks, and the rest got hits. But like I said,
That's it.
Getting picked off was the only mistake. And that happened to 2 batters, Dalton Rogers and Ridley Thomas. I'll call them out.
Coach always has something to gripe about. Even with a great inning, 5 runs, the coach always is going to look for something. So I thought we'd just go ahead and point it out. That's what he's heard about.
We help him out.
Yes.
1-1 pitch, breaking ball down, and he went for it. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count to Logan. Logan's turned around looking. He says, "Yep, I know. I shouldn't have swung at that one.
I was fooled." That's, I think, is part of what he said there also.
Now the 1-2 pitch. Fouled off right side into the batting cage, the Dan Johnston batting cage down the first base line. Count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes. Glad to have you for our first broadcast on our YouTube channel here for Cougar Broadcasting. Breaking ball in for a call, strike. He just watched that one. Wasn't anything to do with that one.
That one was such a slow breaking ball that it didn't even register on the radar. Nothing ever popped up there. But it was a nice 12-6 breaking ball that just snapped right over the inside part of the plate.
And back in my day, we called that a drop ball.
Yes.
That's another one of those same breaking balls, 12-6, and right in front of the plate, and pull the runner off. I'm going to give a base hit on that one. The pitcher's the only one who could make the play, and he couldn't. That's going to be a single for Dalton Rogers. Infield single. Great job and good speed down the line. Of course, Dalton, if you may remember, you didn't get to see much soccer, I don't think, this year, but Dalton's one of the superstar soccer players for the Northwest Rankin boys soccer program.
A lot of athletes out here. I love the fact these kids play a lot of different sports. They don't focus just on one sport. They play multiple sports. Love that about these kids here at Northwest Rankin.
And I've seen that over the years, that the majority of them, the good athletes have, and there'll be occasionally one that'll specialized, especially when in his senior year if he's looking at big scholarship opportunities. But even Nick Hogan, he's got the scholarship signed to go play football at Tulane, but he's still out here playing baseball because he loves to play. Cameron Carroll had played basketball in addition to being a superstar running back. Did not play this year because he had some off-season knee surgery at the end of the season for some meniscus issues that he had messed up during football. So he'd skip basketball because of that. But I'm like you. I'm glad to see it. Dalton takes off on a pitch low and away, an easy stolen base. Dalton with good speed, as I mentioned. He's one of those soccer players that just can flat out move. Also a left-handed pitcher for the Cougars. Now Harrison Tharp, 2-0 count. Last time he was at the plate, hit one straight at the flagpole over the right center field wall for a home run. 2-run shot. Actually, it was a solo shot because Dalton had gotten picked off before that. That one's fouled off. Do want to mention real quick, if you look closely in that right side of your screen, you see the flag at half-staff. Today was the burial service, the funeral service for the legendary Billy Graham, 99 years old. And if any of us could pattern a life after what Billy Graham did, man, would this be a different place. Breaking ball hung way outside. Dalton going on the pitch. And Coach McClaskey's got something figured out with this pitcher, and he's running these guys like crazy now.
It's the same thing again at second base. The pitcher, Shira, just takes a quick glance, and then he's right into his move to home plate. And Coach McClaskey and the rest of these coaches have picked that up, and they're getting a running lead at second base.
Now the 3-1 count. Harrison Tharp will look for something to drive. Finds it, just missed it. He was right under that one as it was right what he was looking for.
I'm really surprised that the Davidson coaches haven't said something to their pitcher about that, because it's pretty easy to pick up sitting here high atop the stadium of what he's doing just about every time with a runner at second base.
Now the 3-2 count. Dalton Rogers down at first base, one out. We're in the bottom of the second. Cougars up 5-0. Chopper to the first base side, foul. Count remains full. Dalton will head back to third base. On deck, Big Nick Hogan. And I hope you get to see him connect with one tonight.
I would love to.
It's a sight to see. Now the 3-2 pitch. Popped up, foul, left side, out of play. Nick came over here as a sophomore, transferred in at Christmas break from Jackson Prep. At that season, he really struggled at the plate. About all he could do was pop one up. He's really struggled there. He's striking him out or popping him up, but the Northwest Rankin coaching staff really worked with him a lot and kind of got that swing leveled off a little bit and got him a little bit more under control. Last year was a little bit better, a good bit better last year. That pitch outside for a ball 4, and Harrison will draw the walk. And that'll bring Nick Hogan to the plate with 2 on and 1 out.
Now batting designated hitter, number 36, Nick Hogan.
Nick doubled his last time up. But Nick last year was decent, played some DH, so he'll play a little bit of first base. But this year, he just, at bat speed to me is just so much faster than it has been the last 2 years. And that's coaching. That's getting the wrist. That's using the muscles in the right way. Now the first pitch as he looks at third and fakes back. Because as you know, it's not big and strong that necessarily contributes to bat speed. It's hands through the hitting zone. Throw over to first. Tharp dives back in ahead of it.
And at 6'6", you just really have to spread out in that box and get yourself. He's just in a very athletic position to hit a baseball.
Well, and you look at him, his feet are almost at both ends of the box.
They are.
He fills it up. Now Shira's first pitch, and he swings at a breaking ball, and he was going after that one. It was down and in, not one he should be going chasing for. But he put a mighty cut on it anyway, which he doesn't leave much in the bag when he swings the bat.
He doesn't.
And I imagine Shira will give him a steady diet of breaking balls. Another throw over to first. That almost was a little too high. Tharp dives back in. No balls, 1 strike to count. Tharp goes, fouled off right side, bounces off the top of the batting cage and deep into out of play territory. And Tharp was going on the pitch, and he had another good jump. Now Nick will step in with an 0-2 count. Now when you're a big power hitter, Jay, you got 0-2. Can you try to shorten up a little bit, just try to make good contact?
Absolutely. You want to put the ball in play somewhere.
Again, Tharp with a good lead. Step to third, fake, and look back first. A few years ago, did I just dream? I heard a rumor that the baseball was looking at maybe outlawing that, where that step to third and look back at first.
You're right. It's just such a.
But they didn't do it. But they talked about it. Okay.
It slows everything down.
There goes Tharp, popped up straight back and out of play, and Nick knows he was on that one. Anytime when you see a foul ball go straight back like that, you know the batter's got the pitcher timed on that pitch. And he just swung under just a little bit.
I'm a little bit surprised. That's 2 straight fastballs after he completely missed curveball.
He wouldn't see a fastball if I was the pitcher.
No, you're exactly right.
And it wouldn't be in the zone even on a curveball. He'd be chasing pitches down and away. Or I'd jam him inside like that first pitch he swung at on a breaking ball. I'd throw it at his knees and let it come back into the plate. Tharp messing with Shira, and he's going to throw over again. You can see Tharp just dancing a little bit over at first base. Like, come on, I dare you. And that's something that'll get into a pitcher's head when runners start stealing a lot of bases. Again, a throw over. And here comes Rogers on the play. Coming to the plate. Ball gets away from the catcher, and Rogers is safe. Coach McClaskey, it does it perfectly. Knew what was coming, and so Dalton Rogers gets credit for a stolen base. Stealing a home.
I love the aggressiveness. You know, you're going to keep throwing it over there to first base, then we're going to get your first baseman who's kind of lobbing the ball back toward the pitcher, and he just turned the speed on from third base and stole a run.
The instant Shira started his move to first, Rogers took off. There goes Tharp. Ball's low and inside for a ball to Big Nick Hogan, and Tharp will get credit for the stolen base. But that's what was so good. And McClaskey had been watching him throw over 2 or 3 times, and I'm sure he just whispered in Dalton's ear.
Yeah.
Next time he goes to first, go. And he did.
He did. Let's watch the pitcher here and see how he holds this runner at second base on. Let's see if he just takes the quick peek and Tharp takes off again.
There goes Shira. Takes a good long look back first. Goes set. Now he's at the plate. He will take a quick look back this time. That one's fouled off again right side.
Good job of protecting. That was a good pitch toward the outside part of the plate. You can't let that go. You got to put the bat on that. Not a ball you're really going to put in play, but he fouled it off. 1-2.
And now at that time, Coach McClaskey called Tharp to come all the way to him to tell him something. Coach McClaskey's seeing something he likes out of this pitcher. Now the 1-2 pitch. Hogan awaits. Line drive down the third baseline, pulled it just foul on a 65-mile-an-hour off-speed pitch.
Did you see the pitcher after that pitch, after it was fouled off? He put his hand to his brow, and he knew he missed his spot on that one. That was inner half of the plate, and Hogan just fouled it off third base line.
1-2 once again. Shira looks back, now delivers. There's a line drive, base hit into left center field for Nick Hogan. Tharp around third and score easily. Nick again thinks about going to second. This time he says, nope, I think I'll just hang on right here.
What a great at-bat. He got down 1-2, fouled off a bunch of really, really good pitches, missed one there on the pitch before, and then that one he hammers one over the shortstop's head for another line drive. So he's got a double, and he has a single.
You know, and that's something you mentioned. I want to go ahead, and I said that when he was 0-2, I believe it was. That, you know, as a power hitter, can you shorten up that swing? Can you do what you need to do, just put the ball in play? And I think Nick showed us that. He showed us some maturity. I didn't see as a sophomore or even as a junior last year, as you said, to foul off a number of pitches, to take one pitch inside to get to that ball, and then finally found one. He couldn't drive it. It wasn't his home run pitch, but he could get a single and score the run and pick up the RBI.
That's doing your job. That's what you want to do. That makes a great teammate when you do what you're supposed to do to advance runners, score runners. If you stand up there and swing for the fence every time, which he's got that kind of power, he can do that. But I love seeing him just shorten up there, put a ball in play, gets a line drive and a base hit, and he's doing his job. That makes a great teammate.
Now batting catcher, number 20, Case Garner.
That'll bring Case Garner to the plate with one out. Big Nick Hogan down at first base. Cougars now lead 7-0 over the Warriors from Davidson. And now the first pitch, low and away for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes to count. Case, his last time up, drew a walk and eventually scored. Scored on the triple by Justin Johnson. Now Nick takes off on the pitch, low and away for a ball, and Nick Hogan is going to get a stolen base. When you see Nick Hogan stealing bases, you know Coach McClaskey sees something out there.
Well, I noticed the during the timeout, the coaches were huddled up over here in the Northwest Rankin batting circle, and there was quite a conversation going on there, and it looked like they may have been just discussing right there. Let's see if Big Boy can steal him one, and he did.
2 balls, no strikes to count to Case Garner. Hogan down at second base. Not a very big lead. Now the pitch fouled off into the dugout on the third base side. Count remains 2 balls, goes to 2 balls, 1 strike. Tomorrow the Cougars will play the second game of the day on Saturday here in the Mid-Mississippi Classic. That game will begin at 12:30. They'll be playing Spanish Fort out of Alabama. I invite you to come out to Wesley Scarborough Field. It's supposed to be another gorgeous day tomorrow, mid-upper 60s, I think, for the temperatures. Be a lot warmer than it is right now. It'll be a great day for baseball. So come out tomorrow and join the Northwest Rankin Cougars as they play in the Mid-Mississippi Classic. It'll be one of 4 games tomorrow. The day begins tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. when Spanish Fort will play Davidson. This team we're playing tonight, Spanish Fort will play them at 10 o'clock. Now the 3-1 pitch to Case Garner. Outside, he draws his second walk of the night.
By the count on the game changer, that's 63 pitches for Shira, and I still don't see anyone down in the bullpen warming up.
Curtis Runners, number 13, Chapman. Now batting third baseman, number 22, Justin Johnson.
What's the pitch count they have on game changer?
64 now.
Okay, I got 63, so I missed one somewhere. Now the first pitch to Justin, popped up right side, down the line, right fielder on the run, into the mud. He will make the catch. Hogan's going to tag from second. He'll go to third easily as the right fielder has no chance of stopping going down that line after he makes the play on that ball. So that'll be an out. Chapman stays at first base.
Do you think
First baseman, number 5, Chris Hart.
Do you think there's a chance he steals home?
Put it this way, I've been around Coach McClaskey a long time. I'm not going to put anything past him.
Absolutely not.
But I doubt it.
No, I doubt it.
I do remember, a few years I did Millsaps baseball, and there was a guy there named Will Hawkins that played first base and was linebacker. In fact, in one season, football, I think it was like 08, 09, maybe 07, 08, right in through there. He was named the Defensive Player of the Year in the conference for football as a linebacker. He was just one of those, don't run it at him. You figure out a way to go around him somewhere because he's going to be there and you're not going to get past him. He was the Defensive Player of the Year in football. The very next spring, he was the Offensive Player of the Year in baseball. Just a tremendous hitter, led the team in home runs and in extra base hits. And his biggest thing was all season long, he kept saying, Coach Page, I want to steal home. Coach Page, I want to steal home. I'm going to steal home before I graduate, Coach. I don't know if he ever did it or not. That pitch down and in for a ball. Chapman's going to take off and head down to second base. 2 outs, runners at second and third. Cougars lead by a score of 7-0. Now the pitch, in for a strike to Chris Hart. Hart singled his last trip. Now the pitch, swing and a miss. Good fastball or changeup on that one, 73 miles an hour. Chris out in front of it just a little bit. Now the 2-2 delivery. Ground ball straight back up the middle. Went off of Shira's glove. Deflected at second baseman. Picks it up. Throws it to first and got him. And that's going to end the inning. 2 runs on 2 hits. No errors. 1 left on base. At the end of 2, Cougars lead 7-0. We'll take a break. Back with more on Cougar Broadcasting.
You made a promise to teach, to provide, to make time, to play, to protect, to give every opportunity. You made a promise, and we're here to help you keep it. Bank Plus, it's more than a name, it's a promise.
Welcome back to Northwest Rankin High School Baseball on Cougar Broadcasting.
Leading off the top of the third, left field, number 16, Cruz Atkinson.
I gave the Cougars a hit that the coaches have ruled as an error. I think that was the one on, I'm trying to remember which one it was, hit back to the pitcher. So I got the infield single, but that pitch in for a call strike. No balls, 1 strike to count. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Was that Dalton Rogers that did that, Jay? Was that the second batter of the inning? Or was that down? It wasn't Hogan.
I cannot remember.
Had to have been Rogers and Hogan's the only 2 that got singles. It wasn't Hogan. So it had to have been Dalton Rogers. That's in for call, strike 3. Good job of pitching coming right out here in the top of the third. 3 pitches and a strikeout recorded by Logan Stewart.
Batter guessing curveball, going to be out of the zone. He comes back, fastball right down the middle, and he freezes the batter, and he just turns and walks back to the dugout.
First pitch misses outside for a ball.
Stewart just getting the sign, throwing the baseball. I like that. Your team up 7-0. Just keep everybody on their toes, keep the pace going.
That pitch misses for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. That misses for a ball. 2 balls, 1 strike to count to Colby Blunt, the center fielder. 9th hitter in the order. First time through. There's a call strike.
Notice people in the bleachers or in the stands out covering up a little more. I pulled up the app. It's 48 degrees now. It's getting a little chilly.
I must have had the count wrong. I had 2-2. It must have been 3-1 because that pitch was a ball and he took his base.
Now batting second baseman, number 6, Jaden Jordan.
So now Jaden Jordan steps in. He struck out his first trip to the plate. Will bat with a runner at first base. Only the second base runner of the night for Davidson. That pitch misses low for a ball. Talked about the pitch count earlier at 69. Now is what I've got Shira with, so right around 70 pitches. Stewart just threw his 40th pitch.
I like what Case Garner just did right there. Pitcher just kind of has lost his spot where he's throwing the ball. He goes out, has a quick conversation. Bridley Thomas gets involved in that conversation from shortstop. relaxes him, slows him down just a little bit, and let's see if he can throw a strike here.
And that's the thing, a mark of a good catcher, one that will do that. You don't say anything earth-shattering. You're not going out there as a mechanics pitching coach, anything telling him what to do. You just try to settle him down, get him back into his routine and his rhythm. And that's part of the game management part you expect out of a quality catcher. 1-0 pitch, hit into the air, right side, and right to the right fielder, Harrison Tharp. Makes the play relatively easily for the second out of the inning.
Now batting catcher number 7, Leighton Boston.
Yeah, most of the time the coach will kind of nod at the catcher if he hasn't already gone out there when he's supposed to go. Mm-hmm. And then a lot of times you're really going out there just to say, how you doing, man?
Yeah.
What's going on? Yep. Change his thought pattern just a little bit. You don't want to get into, man, what are you thinking? Why can't you throw a ball, a strike? I mean, you don't want to get into that. You don't want anything negative.
He's already struggling with that,
Absolutely. You just want to kind of change the tempo just a little bit, and he gets back in and gets an out right there.
Now the pitch misses inside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes to count. Bostic got the only hit of the night so far for the Warriors. Sharp ball hit to Ridley Thomas at short. Made a great backhanded play. Just couldn't quite get it to first in time. 1-0 pitch. Catches that outside corner for a call. Strike. 1-1 to count. Blunt at first base. 2 outs. We're in the top of the third. Cougars lead 7-0. Right down the middle, about knee-high. Delayed steal. Blunt was kind of just taking his walking lead and kept going, and when Case didn't look at him, he took off. And he beat the throw. He'll get a stolen base. Heads up base running this time by Blunt. Got a left-handed batter in the box, so Case's view down to first base was a little bit blocked and just didn't pay attention to keep the runner in his sight to know what was going on. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count to Bostic. Logan steps off, says run through the signs again for me, please. Now he's ready with a 1-2 pitch. Looks back at second. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. No runs on no hits, no errors, 1 left on base. After 2.5, Cougars lead 7-0. Back in a moment on Cougar Broadcasting.
Let's face it, you aren't just a man or just a woman. You are athletes. You aren't just athletes. You're a team. You're more than just a team. You're a family. You deserve Mississippi Sports Medicine. Mississippi Sports Medicine is more than just orthopedists. Collectively, our specialized doctors perform almost 10,000 surgeries each year. From our family to yours, any age, any sport, any injury, just come here. We've got you covered.
I know. Mind-blowing deals as advertised.
Is the decimal point in the right place?
Let me talk to the head honcho. See if I can't get that price knocked in. We rearranged some details I don't trust you to understand, and I can do $275. But that's my rock-bottom deal.
You wouldn't put up with this at a restaurant. Don't put up with it when you buy a car.
So come to Rogers Dab Chevrolet.
It's easier here.
Welcome back to Northwest Rankin High School Baseball here on Cougar Broadcasting. We're going to the bottom of the third inning with Northwest leading 7-0 over the Davidson Warriors.
Now batting for the Cougars left fielder, number 2, Garrett Ramsey.
Ramsey will step in, the number 8 hitter in the order, walked his last trip. He'll lead off here to the bottom of the third inning for the Cougars. First pitch, breaking ball down and away for a ball. I've mentioned a little bit about the schedule tomorrow. Again, the first game will be 10 o'clock. Spanish Fort will take on Davidson. Then at 12:30, Northwest Rankin will play that Spanish Fort team as they'll complete their doubleheader tomorrow. That pitch outside for a ball. And then at 3 o'clock, Sumrall, a perennial powerhouse in 3A. I think they may have moved up to 4A now, but in that range. There's a line shot, bounce a couple times to the second baseman, picks it up and just does get Ramsey. Good play by the second baseman on a sinking line drive that took a couple of hops, but stayed with it, made the play, and got the leadoff hitter out.
Now batting shortstop, number 1, Ridley Thomas.
But anyway, Summerall will play Grissom out of Alabama. And then at 5:30, the final game of the Mid-Mississippi Classic here at Wesley Scarborough Field, Madison Central will play Grissom. So 4 baseball games tomorrow beginning at 10 a.m. Come on out. Enjoy your day. Eat some hamburgers, some hot dogs.
And enjoy the sunshine.
We
haven't had a lot of that lately.
Now the 1-0 pitch. Anybody that's listened to you and I broadcast any over the last however many years knows that we both love to play golf.
Yes.
We both passed up a sunshiny Friday to play because it's so soggy.
It's too wet.
But another few days of sunshine, I'll be itching to get back out there.
Definitely.
2-0 pitch is in for a call strike. 2 balls, 1 strike to count. Ridley Thomas walked his last trip and was one of the 2 picked off at first base in the bottom half of the first inning. That one bounces shy of what would be dirt coming into home plate. Can't say the dirt because there's no dirt there. It's that turf.
It's still got to be dirt when you're calling it. It's got to be dirt. You got to call. I mean,
ball in the dirt, right?
Yeah, it's got to be.
Ball in the turf just doesn't sound right.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
3 balls, 1 strike to count to Ridley Thomas. Takes it high for ball 4, and he'll walk for the second time in the ball game.
I understand from a maintenance standpoint, the pitcher's mound is turf. The home plate area is turf, but it's still dirt. It's baseball says it kind of has to be dirt.
I can't argue with that.
Yeah.
Stewart grounded to short his first trip, called out on strikes in the second inning. His second trip to the plate as he led off both innings. And now he'll bat with a runner at first and 1 out here in the third. Throw over to first. Thomas says, you got me the first time. I'm going to try not to let that happen again because I don't want to face the wrath of Coach McClaskey. Of course, he'd have to face a few other coaches before McClaskey could get to him.
Whatever's left of him, McClaskey will take care of.
Coach Jake Parker coaches first base, and he'd have to get past Coach Parker first. Coach Parker's a big dude.
He is.
A couple of throws over. He's got a pretty good lead, does Ridley. Now the first pitch to Logan. Breaking ball stays inside for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes to count. Nice little crowd out on the right field deck. A lot of tradition out on that right field deck. Now the 1-0 pitch. A line drive, base hit into right field. Thomas had to delay a little bit to make sure it was past the second baseman, so he's going to have to stop at second. But a good job by hitting by Logan Stewart. We're going to get a courtesy runner, I believe, for Stewart. Actually, Coach Parker's adding, and yes, they are going to put in a courtesy runner.
Second baseman had no shot to even have a chance to cut that ball off. He was playing almost behind second base by the time the pitch was delivered.
Courtesy runner first base, number 33, Landon Tompkins. Now batting, number 9, Dalton Rogers.
Landon Tompkins will come in as the courtesy runner for the pitcher.
Still just a ton of room on that right side between the second base hole and the first baseman. Just a lot of room to shoot one through there.
Pitch just misses up and in for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes to count.
Can't see who's up and warming up down in the Davidson bullpen, but finally somebody up with the Davidson pitchers at 81 pitches right now.
Now the 1-0 delivery. It's going to be softly hit into center field and in for a base hit. Everybody will be safe. One station, they'll move up. And Dalton Rogers is loaded to bases for a very dangerous part of the batting order coming up if you're Shira.
Now batting right fielder, number 44, Harrison Tharp.
Tharp, left-handed hitter, drilled one over the left center field wall his first trip to the plate for a solo shot. Walked his last trip. Now he's going to bat with the bases full of Cougars, and they're leading 7-0. That pitch low and away for a ball, 1-0 the count. I don't know how strict they're going to follow these run rules, but the run rules that are laid out for the Mid-Mississippi Classic are 8 after 4, 10 after 5. The Cougars are leading 7-0 here in the bottom of the third with just one out.
I was thinking about that home run he hit. You know, it's gotten a whole lot cooler out here, and wind was not blowing out like it was earlier, and the temperature dropped. So he poked that ball pretty good to get it out of here in deep right center field.
1-1 pitch, breaking ball. He chased down into the dirt.
Just completely fooled there.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Yeah, and as you know, the ball just doesn't go as far in cold weather.
It doesn't.
Nick Hogan on deck. Now the 1-2 pitch. Foul back. Nick hit one in the jamboree here. I think it was against Warren Central. The wind was blowing in from left center field. It didn't matter. He hit it into the top of the trees. That's not a wind that could keep a ball in the park if Nick connects with it. Now the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss at a breaking ball, only 58 miles an hour, and he had Harrison way out of sync on that swing.
Now batting designated hitter, number 36, Nick Hogan.
Now big Nick Hogan steps in. He's 2 for 2, a double and a single.
Wonder what he's thinking right here.
I can tell you exactly what he's thinking. It's fouled off right side. Out of play. No balls, 1 strike to count. Nick's thinking one thing. I want to park this ball out of the lights, into the darkness. And now the 0-1 pitch. Chopper to the right side is going to get in for a base hit. 1 run's going to score. Here comes the second run to the plate. Here comes the throw, nowhere in time. And Nick Hogan's 3 for 3, a single and 2 doubles. And picks up yet 2 more RBI, giving him a total of 8 on the season, and just now the game number 4.
You know, that was impressive. You know, he would have loved to have hit one in the trees in left center field, but that ball was out over the outside part of the plate, and he saw that huge hole that the second baseman playing over behind, almost behind second base. He just poked it through that hole and picks up 2 big RBIs. Cougars now with a 9-0 lead.
And Nick is just continuing to impress me with his maturity at the plate this season that we haven't seen in the past.
Now hitting .600 on the season.
Not too shabby.
No, not bad at all.
They'll throw over to first. Remember, Nick stole a base his last time up, so now they're going to try to keep him close. Runner at third is Dalton Rogers. Nick Hogan at first. And he thought about going. Pitcher stepped off and looked back. Now first pitch to Case. Hogan goes. Pitch is low. They're going to fake the throw, and Nick Hogan to get another stolen base. 2 for 2 in stolen base attempts for Nick Hogan. One ball, no strike.
Kind of went in a little gingerly there at second base. Looked like maybe that left knee.
Well, what I wondered, I saw that, but I wonder if he was kind of halfway between, do I slide or just stand up? And I think he was hearing stand up, no throw, and he was already thinking about sliding. I'm kind of thinking that's what it was. Catching that awkward position. Hopefully that's all it is. Now the 1-0 pitch to Case. Walked twice. Previous trips to the plate. Now the 1-0 delivery. Just misses low for a ball. Real close to that outside part of the plate. Now the 2-0 pitch. Chopper to the left side. Nick waits. Shortstop gloves it. Throws it across the first. Gets the out. And that'll end the inning. 2 runs on 3 hits. No errors. 2 left on base. After 3 complete, Cougars lead 9-0. Back in a moment on Cougar Broadcasting.
Thank you for shopping at Mystery Savings Supermarket, where you never know what kind of deal you're going to get. Welcome to Mystery Savings Supermarket. That'll be $9.
But she...
Welcome to Mystery Savings Supermarket, where you never know what kind of deal you're going to get.
You wouldn't put up with this at a supermarket. Don't put up with it when you buy a car.
So come to Rogers Dab Chevrolet.
It's easier here.
You made a promise to love, to dream, to share, to forgive, to grow, to create something stronger. You made a promise, and we're here to help you keep it. Bank Plus. It's more than a name. It's a promise.
Welcome back to Northwest Rankin High School Baseball here on Cougar Broadcasting. We're live at Wesley Scarborough Field where the Cougars are taking on the Warriors of Davidson. And right now it's been a clinic put on by the Cougars as they lead 9-0 as we go to the top of the fourth inning. An outstanding pitching performance so far by Logan Stewart. Through 3 innings, he's given up 1 hit, no runs, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts, 45 pitches, 33 for strikes.
That's what you want him to do. When he got the 5-0 lead, you want to see him fill up the zone. He had one little moment last inning where couldn't find the strike zone. Catcher did a good job of going out there, moving him around a little bit, having a little conversation, and then right back to it. And it's a 9-0 lead. You want to see him right now just fill the zone up with strikes.
So now Andrew Shira make his second trip to the plate. Struck out his last time up. Now the first pitch from Stewart. He hits it into the air center field. Moving over is center fielder Dalton Rogers. And he's there to make the catch and record the out. 1 pitch, 1 out. And that's exactly what you want to do when you start getting into the middle innings is get some quick outs. Don't want to start running your pitch count up at this point.
First baseman, number 22, Matthew Mosley.
And looks like the coaching staff for Davidson wants to discuss something. Don't know what that was about. First base coach is talking to somebody in the Cougars dugout. Now McClaskey's going to come out. Your guess is as good as mine. Now Mosley steps back in. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. No balls, 1 strike to count. You know, it's Mosley and Gainey, the number 4 and 5 hitter. If I look at these two from a distance in a baseball uniform, they look like twins.
They're like twins. I see that. Yes.
I took a double take the last time after Mosley got put out, and then at the end of the inning, and then Gainey led off the inning. I said, wait a minute, and I had to look at my lineup sheet to look at the names. Thought it was the same guy stepping back in the box. They're number 22 and number 23. Fouled off, left side, out of play. Count goes 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now, of course, I can't see facial features. It may look nothing alike in the face, but body build is very similar. And I think they're both bat left-handed. Now the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3, the 8th strikeout of the ball game. And we're just down the top of the 4th with 2 outs.
What a nice curveball. He snapped that off right under his hands and struck him out. And what you always love happening, after a strikeout, you're throwing the ball around the infield, and the ball gets thrown to the fence in right field. Never like that.
When I played, and of course, back then, my deal was I threw it to third, third threw it to second to short, back to the pitcher, and then the pitcher would toss it into the catcher. The first base would toss it into the pitcher. It's kind of where we worked it. So, little diagonal across the diamond. But if any one of us threw it away, it was over.
Oh, yeah. Always.
This ball goes back to the pitcher, let's pitch.
Always. Yes.
Don't mess it up.
That's like that sacred thing. You can't mess that up.
Can't mess it up.
You got to do that well.
And I like my little quick snap throw to third.
That's
the way I like starting it that way. 1 ball, 1 strike to count to Gainey. He grounded out back to Stewart, leading off this second inning. And he chased that one down and away. Strike 2, 1 ball, 2 strikes to count. 78 miles an hour, but it was a good-looking pitch, tailing away a little bit from the right-hander. And the left-hander. Now the 1-2 pitch. Call strike three. Got him looking, and that'll end the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on. We'll go to the bottom of the fourth. Cougars leading 9-0. Back in a moment on Cougar Broadcasting.
I know. Mind-blowing deals as advertised.
Is the decimal point in the right place?
Let me talk to the head honcho. See if I can't get that price knocked down. We rearranged some details I don't trust you to understand, and I can do $275. But that's my rock bottom deal.
You wouldn't put up with this at a restaurant. Don't put up with it when you buy a car.
So come to Rogers Dab Chevrolet.
It's easier here.
Mrs. Pat and her fine crew, headed by Big T over at Master Lube Pennzoil of Grants Ferry Road, are celebrating 20 years of automotive service to the Reservoir area. Master Lube was the first quick lube in the area, and special in the fact that it's owned and operated by a lady who is a real fanatic on customer service. In addition to all those great Pennzoil products, they also have a full-time mechanic on duty and a full-service car wash detailed shop. Stop by today and ask for Mrs. Pat or Big T, and they'll show you what real automotive service is all about. Feel the clean. Pennzoil clean. Go Cougars! Welcome back to Northwest Rankin High School Baseball here on Cougar Broadcasting. We're going to the bottom of the fourth. Cougars up 9-0. In one sheet of paper I saw there was a run rule of 8 after 4, but evidently we are bypassing that because Cougars lead 9-0, and we're going to the bottom of the fourth, so the game would be over at this point. But now we're getting some looking around. The coach is talking to the umpire. Justin Johnson's in the batter's box. He's ready to hit, but the Davidson coach is talking to the umpire. But Shira's on the mound ready to pitch. I don't know if there's a defensive change that I missed. I didn't see anything, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen. We'll scan the outfield, and I got some binoculars if anybody, Jay, you need to see if the umpire is going to tell us anything. Nope, he's just going to put his sheet back in his pocket and go back behind the plate.
Now batting for the Cougars, third baseman number 22, Justin Johnson.
Now Shira will begin here in the bottom of the fourth inning. First pitch to Justin Johnson. Line drive foul down the first base line. No balls, one strike to count. Johnson tripled back in the first inning, and he flew out to right in the second. Now he leads off here in the fourth. Now the 0-1 pitch. Low and away for a ball. One ball, one strike to count. Now the 1-1 pitch to Justin. Popped up high in the air on the infield. Shortstop's calling for it. Everybody moves away, and he'll make the catch and record the first out of the inning.
First baseman, number 5, Chris Hart.
So we do have a change defensively. McGowan, who was being being DH'd far, was the right fielder. Had pitched low and away for a ball, and he has come out of the game. And number 12, Massengale, is now in right field. Ground ball left side, down the line in the base hit for left field. Chris Hart around first, heading for second. Here comes the throw, and not in time. Hart will stand up with a one-out double down the third base line.
That's a Tony Young performance gear, extra base hit for Chris Hart.
And with that, I think we'll get a pitching change. We also have in center field now is number 16. Cruz Atkinson has moved to center field from left field. And McGowan moved. Oh, they just moved some around. McGowan wasn't right, moved to left. Okay. So McGowan didn't come out. Now he's moving back to, okay, we've got to sort all this. They're making a pitching change. While we sort it out, we're going to take a break. We'll be back in 60 seconds on Cougar Broadcasting.
I'll take one of those shovels.
Oh, those shovels are lease only.
But I just want to dig a hole.
Well, I can sell you the sweet, sporty, compact model for cash.
You wouldn't put up with this at a hardware store. Don't put up with it when you buy a car.
So come to Rogers Dab Chevrolet.
It's easier here.
Welcome back to Northwest Rankin High School baseball here on Cougar Broadcasting as we try to sort this out. The batter's Garrett Ramsey. First pitch is fouled off. No balls, one strike to count. We think, I've got this right, the new pitcher is Austin Massengale. We think he's in the leadoff spot. Fouled off, right side out of play. Andrew Shira, who was pitching, is now playing left field. Colby Blunt, who was in left field, is now at second base. Cruz Atkinson, who was in left field, is now in center field. Gray McGowan is in right field. We think we've got all that sorted out. Low and away for a ball, and on the wild pitch, Hart will go to third base.
Massengale has no record. He has a 6.30 ERA in 3 appearances. He's thrown 3 1/3 innings, 3 hits, 8 runs, 3 of those earned, 6 base on balls, and 3 strikeouts.
Now the 1-2 pitch misses low for a ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count. 1 out. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning. Cougars lead 9-0.
That's what we're sure of. The rest of it, lineup-wise, we're not real sure. A lot of moving parts.
And unfortunately, in high school, nobody tells the press box what's going on with all the changes. You have to guess and hope you got it right. Chopper to third base. Third baseman's going to field it, make a long look back to make sure the runner stays. Runs halfway across the diamond, almost past the pitcher's mound before he finally throws it to get Ramsey out. But a good play to hold Chris Hart at third base. And now we're going to get a pinch hitter for the Cougars. I believe that's number 7 will pinch hit for Bridley Thomas. And number 7 for the Cougars is Reed Trimble. So he'll come in and pitch hit for Bridley Thomas. Left-handed hitter. 2 outs. Cougars up 9-0. Runner at third base and Chris Hart.
Pitch hitting for the Cougars, number 7, Reed Trimble.
Hart reached on a 1-out double down the third baseline. Went to third on a wild pitch. Now the first pitch to Trimble. Misses low for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes to count. Cougars now have 9 hits. Wild pitch. Here comes the runner and crosses the plate on the wild pitch. And that gives the Cougars run number 10. And my guess is now if we can get 3 up, 3 down in the 5th, that will end the ball game. The run rule at 10 after 5 is pretty standard. Game been going an hour and 29 minutes since first pitch. 2-0 pitch popped up high in the air. Center fielder drifting back. Now he's going to come in right into the center of the mud almost and makes the catch and records the out. 1 run on 1 hit. No errors. Nobody left on base. We played 4 complete. Cougars lead 10-0. Back in 60 seconds on Cougar Broadcasting.
You made a promise to work, to lend a hand, to push, to build, to invest yourself, to make a difference. You made a promise, and so did we. To Mississippi, to each other. Bank Plus, it's more than a name, it's a promise.
Hi, I'm Dr. David Mitchell with Mitchell Dental Clinic in Flowood. We're excited to announce our partnership with Cougar Athletics for the 2017 season, and we'd like for you to join our team. Just give us a call, we'll make it super easy for you. We can't wait to see you.
Go Cougars!
Accidents aren't planned. Mississippi Sports Medicine Orthopedic Urgent Care. You're in, you're out. You're better.
Welcome back to Northwest Rankin High School baseball here on Cougar Broadcasting. Trying to sort it out. We do have a new pitcher for the Cougars, and I'm going to assume it's just a straight change as I don't see any other changes out there. There's none on the infield. And Luke Lysette will come in to pitch. Luke is a 9th grader. And I don't even have him in my varsity roster, so we're going to have to add him right quick. And it's not letting me, because I already had somebody in as number 29. But anyway, Luke Lysette will come in to pitch for the Cougars. I'll try to get my stuff sorted out in my computer. Reed Trimble did stay in as the shortstop. He came in a pinch hit role. So Luke Lysette, the new pitcher in the ball game for the Cougars. Great job today by Logan Stewart. Went 4 innings, gave up 1 hit, no runs, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts. Total of 54 pitches.
Leading off the top of the 5th, third baseman number 2, Noah Lovett. New pitcher, number 29, Luke Lysette. Reed Trimble's remained in the game at shortstop.
Lovett struck out in the 2nd inning, his only trip to the plate. And now he'll face 9th grader Luke Lysette. First pitch from Luke, way up and in for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes to count. Luke Lysette, there's a group of about 5 9th graders that are helping me out in the press box this year. Luke is one of those. And, in fact, that pitch outside for ball 2. Last night, I had to run downstairs for a moment between innings and didn't make it back up before the next batter. And Luke introduced 2 batters.
All right.
And said he didn't mind doing it. There's a little soft line drive to Justin Johnson at third base.
Now he's out pitching in a varsity game. How about that?
How about that? And I asked him when I came back up how he did. He said, I think your job might be in jeopardy.
Oh, sports broadcaster PA type. I see how it is.
Out batting shortstop, number 3, J.W. Riley.
That's a freshman confident in all of his skills.
I'm telling you. I was worried for a minute there. Now J.W. Riley struck out as well his last trip. Breaking ball misses outside for ball one. 1-0 the count. Jay, as a ninth grader now, you're coming in a varsity game. Granted, you got a 10-0 lead when you enter the ball game, but how big was that first out for him to get?
Huge. You saw the first pitch that was a ball way out of the zone. Second pitch out of the zone. Third one was in the zone, and he hit it to the third baseman for the out, and I'm telling you, your heart got back in rhythm right there. But I can guarantee you the heart was just beating very, very fast when he threw that first pitch.
But now he's thrown 3 out of the zone, and it's a 3-0 count to J.W. Riley. Fastball catches the outside corner for a called strike. And I got to believe if I'm a coaching staff, I'm telling Luke, look, just throw strikes.
Just go throw strikes.
Just get it in the zone, play catch with Case, and let your defense do the work. You got a 10-0 lead, but I think he's trying to overthrow a little bit, so it looks to me like. That pitch high, and a walk from Riley.
Now batting center fielder number 16, Cruz Atkinson.
So Cruz Atkinson comes to the plate. 1 out. We're in the top of the 5th inning. Cougars lead 10-0. Now Luke looks in. Low and away for a ball. Good job by Case to block it up. 1-0 the count. And now Case is going to go out and have a little word with him. Senior, go out and talk to the freshman.
I'm blocked by the pole. I can see Northwest Rankin has somebody down in the bullpen throwing. Looks like a left-hander, just to be sure that they can get through this inning.
That is number 14 down there. .14 is another freshman that's assigned to the press box this year, Blake Summerlin. So they're stealing my players and putting them in action. What's up with this?
Bringing out all the freshmen to pitch tonight.
2 balls, no strikes that count, which we had heard they were kind of short on pitchers. Threw some against Warren Central, threw against Grenada. Of course, you got game last night. You got another game tomorrow, and I want to try to save up what you can. 2-0 count in for a call strike.
And pretty good team.
2 balls, 1 strike to count.
They're going to be playing tomorrow in Spanish Fort, Alabama. Save a little pitching for them.
Now the 2-1 pitch. High for ball 3, and it looks most of his misses are up. So can you describe maybe what you're seeing there? Is he kind of just
he's real stiff,
working too hard?
He's real stiff in his motion right now. It's not free flowing, and usually when that happens, ball's up. That's a good pitch.
Down on the inside part of the plate. I like that one. Yes, sir. 3 balls, 2 strikes to count.
When your heart beats really fast, you get out of your normal rhythm, and you just don't free flow.
Popped up, foul, out of play.
The last 2 pitches, he's done that. He's gotten back in a better rhythm, and the ball down just a little bit.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runner at first. Up and in, ball 4. Walks the the second 2. He got the line out, soft line out to third to the first batter. Walks the next 2. Coach Bennett's looking down to the dugout, down to the bullpen. And he's going to go out to the pitcher's mound, and I think we're going to see another freshman come into the ball game. So while they make the pitching change, we're going to take a break. Back in 60 seconds on Cougar Broadcasting.
You made a promise to teach, to provide, to make time, to play, to protect, to give every opportunity. You made a promise, and we're here to help you keep it. Bank Plus, it's more than a name, it's a promise.
Thank you for shopping at Mystery Savings Supermarket, where you never know what kind of deal you're going to get. Welcome to Mystery Savings Supermarket. That'll be $9.
But she...
Welcome to Mystery Savings Supermarket, where you never know what kind of deal you're going to get.
You wouldn't put up with this at a supermarket. Don't put up with it when you buy a car.
So come to Rogers Dab Chevrolet.
It's easier here.
Welcome back to Northwest Rankin High School Baseball here on Cougar Broadcasting. A lefty, Tucker Barthel, coming into the game to pitch here tonight. I think Tucker's another ninth grader. Correction, he's the 10th grader. I'm losing him on my rosters. There he is. I found him now on my roster sheet.
New pitcher for the Cougars, number 14, Tucker Barthel. Now batting second baseman number 1, Colby Blunt.
Blunt steps up. He walked his last trip to the plate, and he'll bat with runners at first and second. One out here in the top of the fifth. Now, Barthel's best pitch right now would be something down that would produce a ground ball, give the Cougars a chance to maybe try to turn the double play and end this ball game. First pitch is up, though, for ball one. 1 ball, no strikes to count. And obviously this is a good opportunity for Coach McClaskey and his pitching staff to look at some of these guys in game action. But you want to see them produce. That one's fouled off. Hits the pole and lands back into right field in the mud. Almost centered that light post down the right field line.
You might sit here all year long and never see that happen again.
Jay, I've been here for better part of 18 years. I've never seen one of them poles hit. I did have a light hit on the one down here on the first base side right here by the dugout.
Right.
We had a light busted out there last year. And I thought about it, had it been the year before, I'd have been sitting right under it because this press box wasn't ready. And I sat right there just past that garbage can across that little fence on the first base side. You can't see that on your camera shot, folks, but had I been there the year before, that light would have fallen, all that glass would have fallen right on top of my broadcast station. 2-1 pitch. Just misses low. I think he called it a ball. It looked low and in. Yes, 3 balls, 1 strike to count.
He barked out something pretty loud.
That's what made me hesitate. Normally they don't do that for a ball. Ball 4. So the Cougars now, after a leadoff out with 2 pitchers, have walked the bases loaded with 1 out. And now the pitcher, Massengale, Austin Massengale, will come to the plate.
Now batting pitcher number 12, Austin Massengale.
And if you're somebody who's looking forward to maybe trying to get home on a 10-run rule, that's in danger.
It is.
Now the first pitch to Massengale. Catches the outside corner for a call strike. No balls, 1 strike to count. First time the last 3 batters have been ahead in the count. The last 4 batters, first time being ahead in the count. Breaking ball comes in and catches a piece of the corner.
Oh, that was a pretty pitch. That was outside the plate with a little curve, late action. Broke it over the outside part of the plate for an 0-2 count.
I keep going back to my day. I call that a roundhouse.
Yes.
0-2 pitch. Fastball low and in the dirt. Comes back to the fence. Here comes the runner from third. And he will score on the wild pitch. The shutout is over. And after 3 walks to load the bases, the wild pitch plates the only run of the ball game thus far for the Warriors from Davidson. Now 1 ball, 2 strikes to count to Massengale as he steps back in. And the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Good off-speed pitch. Way out in front of it. He goes down on strikes.
That was a 61-mile-an-hour curveball that just had the batter fooled.
Now batting catcher number 7, Leighton Boston.
First pitch misses for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes to count. Chopper to the right side. Be fielded by Houston McCray. McCray Houston tosses to first to get the out on the 4-3 putout. 1 run on no hits, no errors, 2 left on base. We played 4 1/2. Cougars lead 10-1. Back in a moment on Cougar Broadcasting.
We know you came in to just get a cleaning, but I think what you really wanted was to upgrade to a whole new set.
So we're out of ivory. Platinum or gold?
All right.
I'll get the platinum ready.
We don't normally use this much Novocaine, but this will make it hurt a whole lot less.
You wouldn't put up with this at the dentist. Don't put up with it when you buy a car.
So come to Rogers Dab Chevrolet.
It's easier here.
Okay, listen up. I know you offer great auto rates, local agents, fast, friendly claims, but do you want to be a legend? You got to get tough, kid. When I'm done with you, nothing's going to keep you down.
Great talk, Brett. Can we get back to your new favorites quote now?
Oh, great.
Great.
Get great auto rates and local agents at favrates.com from Farm Bureau Insurance.
How about some water?
No, thanks. I'm good.
Welcome back to Northwest Rankin High School baseball here on Cougar Broadcasting. We're going to the bottom of the 5th. Cougars leading 10-1. Tucker Barthel would be the scheduled hitter to lead off, but I see Landon Tompkins, number 33, down there with a bat. Our girls were playing softball tonight. They traveled over to Newton County to face the Cougars from Newton County, one of the top teams year in, year out in fast pitch softball. And unfortunately, our girls did not fare so well. They lost 13-3 to Newton County.
Pitching for the Cougars, number 33, Landon Tompkins.
So Landon Tompkins will step into the batter's box in place of Luke Barthel, who was the pitcher. Right-handed hitter will face Massengale. Massengale came on in relief of Shira. Line on Shira. He went 3 1/3, gave up 9 hits, 10 runs. 8 of them, I didn't check my earned runs. They're not all earned. 7 walks, 2 strikeouts. So that's a bad ratio for a pitcher to walk 7 and only strike out 2. 1 ball, 1 strike to count to Tompkins. He also gave up the home run. Actually, no balls, 2 strikes to Tompkins. My bad. Now the 0-2 pitch just misses low and away for a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Dalton Rogers on deck. Here in the bottom of the 5th, Cougars need to play to run to run rule or mercy rule the Warriors. 1-2 pitch popped up. Right side is going to get out of play. Count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jay looked at the temperature a little earlier, down into the upper 40s now.
I'm not sure I want to look again.
Thank you.
Maybe a little colder than that now.
We still do not have heat in our press box. Thankfully, I brought a heater. High fastball, our off speed is only 66, but Landon chased it up, unable to make contact. So he'll go down on strikes.
Now batting center fielder, number 9, Dalton Rogers.
Now Dalton Rogers steps up. He's 1 for 2. He reached on an error in the 2nd inning. I had ruled it as a single, an infield single. Tough play by the pitcher, Shira, but coaching staff of the dugout had ruled it an error, so I changed mine. He singled in the 3rd. So he's 1 for 2. He takes the call, strike on the first pitch. No balls, 1 strike to count. That pitch misses low for a ball. 1-1 to count to Rogers. Now the 1-1 pitch. Chopper to the third base side. Big hop for third baseman. Picks it up, throws it, and gets Dalton by a step on the 5-3 putout. And now we'll get another pinch hitter. Coming into the game is number 13 for the Cougars. And 13 is Carson Chapman.
Pitch hitting, number 13, Carson Chapman.
I did check the weather app, and it's only dropped a degree. It's 47 degrees now, but it's still chilly.
Good thing I introduced Carson because he had stepped into the batter's box and had not checked in with the umpire. When I said it, Coach McClaskey reminded him, step out and check in with the umpire. So Chapman pinch hits is now for Tharp. Takes it for a call strike. No balls, one strike to count. Nick Hogan still has a bat in his hand, though. So trying to get that extra run. If Carson could somehow get on base, Nick could end it with one swing. Now the 0-1 pitch. Misses low for a ball. One ball, one strike to count. Now the 1-1 delivery. High, ball 2, 2-1 to Carson Chapman. Now the 2-1 delivery from Massengale. Swings and misses at 69 mile an hour. Look like maybe a changeup.
I believe it was a little changeup. He's been throwing it around 73, 74, so a little off speed there. Fool the batter.
Now the 2-2 delivery to Chapman. Hits it down the right side, foul. It'll land into the bullpen area for the Cougars. Count remains 2-2. Another foul off right side.
Got the light.
Get the light of the pole.
Yeah, got the light. It must be some kind of, it looked like a plastic cover or some sort on that, but it hit right into that light.
I see it.
Straight down.
Yep. So that's twice now in 2 years one's hit that light up there. The ones beside it don't have a cover on it. The ones on this side that has no cover, it would have just hit the bulb with it, which is what happened last year. Wow.
Nick Hogan looking up at that, wondering, and I think he just figured out it's got a cover on it. Otherwise, he would have gotten glass dropped on him.
2-2 pitch, grounder to the left side. It's going to get in the hole for a base hit for Chapman. Chapman with a pinch hit single between third and short. And that'll bring Nick Hogan. No, we're going to get, I think, a pitching change. I don't think Coach Harrell from Davidson wants this pitcher to pitch to Nick Hogan. So he's going to make a change. While he's making the change, we're going to take a break. We'll be back with a pitching change in just a moment. Northwest Rankin High School Baseball here on Cougar Broadcasting. Mrs. Pat and her fine crew, headed by Big T over at Master Lube Pennzoil at Grants Ferry Road, are celebrating 20 years of automotive service to the reservoir area. Master Lube was the first quick lube in the area, and special in the fact that it's owned and operated by a lady who is a real fanatic on customer service. In addition to all those great Pennzoil products, they also have a full-time mechanic on duty and a full-service car wash detail shop. Stop by today and ask for Mrs. Pat or Big T, and they'll show you what real automotive service is all about. Feel the clean. Pennzoil clean. Go Cougars!
We know you came in to just get a cleaning, but I think what you really wanted was to upgrade to a whole new set.
So we're out of ivory. Platinum or gold?
What?
I'll get the platinum ready.
We don't normally use this much Novocaine, but this will make it hurt a whole lot less.
You wouldn't put up with this at the dentist. Don't put up with it when you buy a car.
So come to Rogers Dab Chevrolet.
It's easier here.
You made a promise. To teach, to provide, to make time, to play, to protect, to give every opportunity. You made a promise, and we're here to help you keep it. Bank Plus, it's more than a name, it's a promise.
Welcome back to Northwest Rankin High School Baseball here on Cougar Broadcasting. New pitcher for the Davidson Warriors is Tristan McGregor. He'll be DH'd far. Came in that 10 spot on the batting order if you look at it that way. Massengale moved to right field. The right fielder, McGowan, left the game. So Massengale stays in the game. And McGregor now on the mound. Nick Hogan with a bat in his hand would come to the batter's box. He's talking to his players over here on the side. I can't tell. Yes, Case Garner just pointed to the trees in left field, telling Nick what to do with it. See if Nick listened.
New pitchers, number 17, Tristan McGregor. Now batting for the Cougars, designated hitter number 36, Nick Hogan.
So big Nick Hogan steps to the batter's box, got a lefty on the mound. And if in the majors or minors even, you'd never see him put in a lefty to face a righty.
No.
But that's what they've done.
Probably a lot of curveballs, off-speed stuff here.
And the first pitch is a high 62 mile an hour.
Something.
And it looked pretty flat, pretty straight, but it was up and away to Nick.
We'll say it was a changeup. How about that?
We'll go with that. I just didn't see any movement on it.
I didn't either.
Now the 1-0 pitch as Hogan readies. High ball 2. Maybe they saw a scouting report from Nick's sophomore year that says he pops them up, says tell that pitcher just throw it up, and maybe he'll pop it up and we can get him out. Now the 2-0 pitch. High ball 3, 62 miles per hour. Now, I will say this, and all through the years of doing Northwest, they can hit these guys throwing 80s, but some of these guys come in that can't throw but 60, 70. They struggle with them. Gets off the timing.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I do.
Now the 3-0 pitch. High ball 4, walked him on 4 pitches.
I would much rather face a guy that threw it 85 to 92 than I would ever face a guy that threw it in the 60s and 70s.
Now, Case had walked out ready to get in the batter's box and turned around going back to the dugout. So it looks like we're going to see a pinch hitter for the catcher, Case Garner. Looking to see who it's going to be as we await someone to come out of the dugout with a bat. And there comes a walks like Jake Lassette. I've yet to see his number. Yeah, that's number 10, Jake Lassette. So Jake will come in and pinch hit for the catcher, Case Garner.
Number 10, Jake Lassette.
Left-hander. Well, again, now you're putting in a left-handed batter to face the left-handed pitcher. Now the first pitch to Jake. Up for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes to count. That pitch catches the outside corner for a called strike. Now the 1-1 pitch to Jake. Misses inside for ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike to count. Left-handed hitting, Jake Lassette. Also will play some first base for the Cougars this season. Now the 2-1 pitch. Swings and misses at a high 61 mile an hour pitch. Hard to call that a fastball.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2 on. Now the 2-2 pitch. Hit into right field. Right fielder was playing deep. He's coming in, and he will get there and make the catch and record the out, and that'll end the inning. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, 2 left on base. We played 5. Cougars lead 10-1. Back in a moment on Cougar Broadcasting.
Let's face it, you aren't just a man or just a woman. You are athletes. You aren't just athletes. You're a team. You're more than just a team. You're a family. You deserve Mississippi Sports Medicine. Mississippi Sports Medicine is more than just orthopedists. Collectively, our specialized doctors perform almost 10,000 surgeries each year. From our family to yours, any age, any sport, any injury, just come here. We've got you covered.
Welcome back to Northwest Rankin High School baseball. We'll go to the top of the sixth inning. We think we've got everything sorted out.
Leading off the top of the sixth, left fielder number 9, Andrew Shire. Now pitching number 15, Cooper Gadman.
Gadman on the mound. First action tonight. Pitch misses inside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes to count. Cooper Gadman on the mound. Dalton Rogers still in center. Landon Tompkins now in right. Joseph Iannelli's now behind the plate. That pitch in for a strike. I believe he called it a strike. 1-1 to count.
72-mile-an-hour fastball. Pretty curveball.
Breaking ball in for call, strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count.
That's a good number there. He went from 72 to 59. 72 on the fastball, 59 on the curveball, and leads to a 1-2 count.
Almost got him to chase that one low and away and out of the zone. We have a new left fielder as well. No, never mind. It's Garrett Ramsey still in left. Hey, that's right. Trying to sort out all the defense. 2-2 pitch. Grounder to the right side. Hurrying over is Houston McCray. McCray Houston can't quite make the play on it. Be a base hit under the glove of McCray Houston.
Great effort there by Houston. Ball just got underneath his glove and got into right field for a base hit.
Cooper, the son of one of our golfing buddies, Jason Gadman. I'm sure Jason's around here somewhere in the stands watching his youngster play and excited to see him on the mound. Now Cooper's first pitch to Mosley, in for a call, strike. No balls, 1 strike to count.
I'm looking for him. I don't see him. He's got to be around here somewhere, though, you would think.
I can't imagine him not being here.
I was looking for the guy in shorts, because it's cold weather, and the guy always, even when it's cold, shows up in shorts to play a little bit of golf, where we're covered up, fully, and he is poor guy. He's just wearing shorts when it's 40 degrees.
0-1 pitch was swung on and missed. No balls, 2 strikes to count. Iannelli set up well outside, and that's exactly where the pitch came. Great location that time by Cooper. It's fouled off. I love to see that. The catcher set up out off the plate, and that's exactly where the pitch came. And that's the key to pitcher. You throw it to the spot.
That's right.
And that spot's not always in the strike zone. Now the 0-2 pitch. Misses low and in. Gets away from Iannelli. Runner goes. Did they say he swung at it? I didn't think. He can't take the base anyway because it was occupied. So it's going to go as the strikeout, I guess.
It's going to be a conversation. Third base coach doesn't believe he swung at that, but he did call it strike 3.
And, of course, with the base occupied, even though the runner was going, you can't take that base unless there's 2 outs. Now the 2 umpires will discuss it with each other. They're not going to change it. So Shira moved down to second base. Now there's 1 out. Gainey steps into the batter's box. Now the first pitch from Gadman to Gainey. Gainey grounded out to the pitcher and struck out. Fouls that one off just barely down the third baseline. About 3 feet foul. Everybody gets back in their position. No ball, 1 strike count. Gadman steps off.
We've seen the rhythm of the game just kind of move to a snail's pace. It was kind of moving right along, even though the Cougars were scoring just about every inning. It was moving right along, but all of a sudden we have slowed to a snail's pace.
Screeching halt.
Yes. Oh, that was a good pitch. Very nice curveball there.
No balls, 2 strikes to count. We're 2 hours, 4 minutes now. Like you said earlier, we were kind of rocking along, just nice and smooth. Of course, a lot of that had to do with the pitching of Logan Stewart, starting pitcher. He seemed to be on cruise control. Of course, with 1 walk, 9 strikeouts, it's easy to get on cruise control.
Definitely.
Only allowed 1 hit through his four innings of work. That pitch outside for a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count. Now the 1-2 pitch. Gadman looks back at second a couple of times. Now comes to the plate. Breaking ball this time goes down and in. Good job by Ionelli to block it up. I got to go ahead and say it. Of course, Gadman, the son of a golfing partner, and Ionelli is the grandson of my neighbor, Lou Ionelli, next door. And, of course, Joseph's dad is a scout for the Rockies, Damon Ionelli. Helped find and get Reed Humphreys to come to the Colorado organization as he was drafted. That pitch misses inside for a ball. Runner's going to jog down to third on the wild pitch. Full count now to Jaden Gainey. But I've watched Joseph grow up from a scrawny little 10, 11, 12-year-old trying to get out and help cut his grandpa's yard to help taking over the maintenance of it a lot last season. Good young man. That one's again fouled off left side. Giving chase for it is Garrett Ramsey. Goes into the visitors' bullpen but cannot hold on to the ball. Had he held on to it, the run could have scored. It would have been, he could have tagged up, but couldn't quite make the play heading into the bullpen area. We now have a new tripod for our speed gun up here in the press box. Look like the old tripod malfunctioned. I guess that's a unipod. He's holding it with one hand. Assistant baseball coach and producer of our football and basketball. He's, because of baseball, not doing our broadcast for baseball, but Coach Madden. It's also the technology group. Ground ball, hot shot to third. Picked up, throws it across the diamond, gets it out. Good play. Justin stayed with that one.
Hard hit ball down to third base, and he did a good job of just staying with that. Stayed down, kept it down, knocked it down in front of him, and made the good throw across the diamond. That's what you call sticking with it right there. Justin Johnson, just a good job there at third base.
And that's the key to that play at third.
It is.
You don't have to catch everything, especially those hot ones. If you just knock it down, keep it in front of you, and then keep your wits about you.
Just be a wall.
You can still a lot of times get that runner at first. Throw over to third, a pickoff move, something you don't see happen very often. Because your third baseman's not going to sit there and cover the bag, but occasionally that runner will get too far off the pitcher. It's going to throw one over there. Lovett at the plate, struck out and lined out to third. Good breaking ball by Gadman. Started at the inside around to the batter's box and came right in across the inside part of the plate to Lovett. Now the 0-1 pitch. Another breaking ball. This one goes down and away. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. Top of the 6th inning. Cougars lead 10-1. Only 2 hits. 2 hits now for Davidson. They have scored 1 run. Looking over at our scoreboard, that pitch fouled off. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes to count. Now the 1-2 pitch. Gadman delivers. Breaking ball stays high. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count. Runner at third base is Shire. Andrew Shire, leadoff single. Past McRae Houston into right field. Now the 2-2 pitch. Ground ball down the third baseline. Justin Johnson dives, trying to stop it. Kane goes out into foul ground. But it's going to be a base hit for Lovett. Right down the line at third. Good effort by Johnson to try to make the play on it, but just could not get his glove to hold on to it.
It was perfectly placed. It was just out of his reach. As you said, a great effort of trying to dive out there and keep the ball in the infield. But it gets down the third base line, and he does pick up a base hit.
Third hit of the ball game for the Warriors of Davidson. Second run. 2 runs, 3 hits for Davidson. 10 runs on 10 hits for the Cougars. Line foul and out of play over towards the softball field, which is behind the first base stands here at Wesley Scarborough Field. No balls, 1 strike to count. Swing and a miss. 77 miles per hour.
Tied him up with that one. Got that in on his hands. 77 miles an hour. Just tied him up.
I think that's the fastest one I've seen from Gadman in here tonight. No balls, 2 strikes to count.
That's been the pitch for him right there.
Good breaking ball in for strike 3. Got him. 1 run on 2 hits. And that's going to be the final for the ball game. Cougars will win by a score of 10-2. 2 runs, 3 hits, 2 errors for Davidson. 10 runs, 10 hits, and no errors for the Cougars. Cougars have improved to 3-1 on the season. Next game here for Northwest Rankin. Tomorrow morning we'll begin the Mid-Mississippi Classic on Saturday. With the first game tomorrow morning, we'll have Spanish Fort versus Davidson. That game begin at 10 a.m. The Cougars will play Spanish Fort at 12:30. Then we'll continue at 3 o'clock, Sumrall versus Grissom, and then Madison Central versus Grissom beginning at 5:30 to finish off the Mid-Mississippi Classic. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with more here on Cougar Broadcasting.
You made a promise to teach, to provide, to make time, to play, to protect, to give every opportunity. You made a promise, and we're here to help you keep it. Bank Plus, it's more than a name, it's a promise.
Welcome back to Northwest Rankin High School Baseball here on Cougar Broadcasting. Northwest Rankin defeats Davidson by a score of 10-2 here in an 8 after 6 rule, not 10 after, instead of 8 after 4 that was originally printed on the information I had. But a good night for the Cougars, a good outing as the Cougars have come out and get a big victory by a score of 10-2 over Davidson. And Jay, that's one that they needed after a tough loss last night, losing 8-0. Not able to do anything right. I take it back, though. The key tonight was a starting pitching from Logan Stewart.
Logan Stewart was dominant. 9 strikeouts, and he got his job done. He got out there filled the zone with strikes and did a good, super job there. But then I think really key, 5 runs in that bottom of that first inning. They started to hit the ball. They followed hit after hit after hit. Had a couple of guys get picked off of first base, or it would have been more. Hate to remind people of that, but just that thought of they came out and did what they needed to do tonight to get back on top. And they'll face a pretty good team tomorrow in Spanish Fort.
But a good one tonight, and again, the big thing, looking at Stewart, talk about filling up the strike zone. I had him with 54 pitches, 40 of those in the strike zone, and you've got to love that if you're a pitching coach. Saw some 9th graders come in. A 10th grader saw Luke Lissette. Saw 10th grader and Barthel, and then Gadman come in and get the strikeout to end the game. And that's a big confidence booster for him anytime you can come in and something like that. I think all in all, a great night for the Cougars. Obviously, anytime you get a big victory, you've got to love it. The final line for the Warriors, 2 runs, 3 hits, 2 errors. They stranded 5 runners on base. They were 1 for 5 with runners in scoring position. Cougars 10 runs on 10 hits, no errors. That's big, as they didn't make any mistakes defensively. Left 7 runners on base, 5 for 11 with runners in scoring position. We look at some of the individual stats in the game real quick for the Cougars. Stewart was 1 for 3 at the plate. Rogers was 1 for 3 at the plate with a run scored. Tharp 1 for 2 at the plate, 2 runs scored, had that big home run in that first inning, part of that 5-run first. Also had an RBI. Chapman was 1 for 1 at the plate. Nick Hogan 3 for 3 at the plate with a run scored and 3 RBI. He also had a walk, he had a double, and 2 stolen bases.
2 stolen bases
for Nick Hogan. Also, Justin Johnson 1 for 3 at the plate with an RBI. Chris Hart 2 for 3 at the plate with an RBI. So all in all, a good night for the Cougars at the plate. So got to feel proud of the Cougars. Again, improving to 3-1 on the season. And tomorrow morning they will take on Spanish Fort. That game scheduled to begin, or tomorrow afternoon at 12:30. That'll be the second game of the day tomorrow. Hope you'll come out tomorrow and enjoy some Cougar baseball here at Wesley Scarborough Field. I just got an update a while ago. Said it's supposed to be 70 degrees tomorrow in sunshine. Just about can't beat that. It's for March the 3rd.
It's better than 47 right now.
Amen to that. Jay, thanks for joining me tonight. As always, loved it. Thanks to all of you for listening. Thanks to our sponsors. Again, our Extra Base Hit sponsor, Tony Young Performance Gear, along with Ducks on the Pond. Thanks, Tony Young. Home Run, Jonathan Johnson, State Farm. Buffalo Wild Wings for Swing for Wings, and McAllister's Deli on Lakeland Drive. We thank them for their support of Northwest Rankin High School Athletics. Thanks to Jake Wheeler, our producer-director tonight. Thanks for you for joining us. And until tomorrow morning, I'm DP saying good night, everybody.